guys, how y'all doing? I'm on the way into work this morning. We are 3 weeks away from Sturgis departure morning, or day, or whatever. Yeah, 3 weeks from tomorrow. I do got the Eats video basically ready to go. Yeah, that's basically more or less ready to go. I just got a little bit of, I think I'm going to try to add like some maps and stuff and stuff, but with any luck, I get done early enough, I get that done this afternoon. We get that up tonight. It's Wednesday, what, July the 7th, I think? 8th? I don't know. I think it's the, it's the 8th. Phone's in my back pocket. I could, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm on the way into work. I've got 2 videos still Sturgis related that I need to talk about. Number one is ways to just completely wreck the rally, and it kind of applies to any rally. I'll probably save that for this weekend, hopefully. Well, I guess there's 3 concerts / plan of attack. That's another one I'm going to do, and then concert / plan of attack is another one I'll do. And but this morning I think I'm going to go ahead and hopefully, if this thing is going to save this and record and all that good crap, I don't know. This morning let's talk about what do I want to talk about? God damn it, train of thought just went off the tracks again. Did eat some drinks, I did that. God, I forgot what I wanted to talk about. Man, I'm an idiot. Alright, I guess we can do ways to just wreck your Sturgis rally to this morning. Yeah, why not? Number 1 on the list is to have a bad experience with the Popo. Now, let's start with the obvious, okay? Most of the cops, and probably 90% of them in the area, are cool as hell, okay? They're there to make sure that you don't hurt yourself or hurt somebody else. So, speed. Watch your speed. When you're on 34 between city and between downtown and Chip, the Glencoe, out towards 78 to get up towards the Throttle, all those places. If the speed limit's 45, go 45. You go 46, 47, you might get pulled over. And all they're doing is checking to make sure you're not drinking. Now, here's a tip for you. If you're wearing a full face helmet, they're less likely to pull you over. I heard that from a couple cops. They don't mess with those guys who are doing like 47, 48 that are in full face helmets, because they think that, at least from what one of them told me last year, if you're wearing a full face helmet, it's a little bit harder for them to check you, number 1. Number 2, they figure that if you're wearing a full face, you're probably a little bit more safety minded than if you're wearing just a backwards baseball cap or, a brain bucket. So you're less likely to be drinking and riding. Even if you get caught doing like 52 and a 45, 55 and a 45, about 3/4 of the time, they're just going to tell you to slow down as long as you're not an asshole to them. That's it. Yeah, they're just going to tell you, hey, slow it down a little bit. Yet again, remember something that came, that I was told very early on when I started driving truck, and they were talking about if the cop asks you to do something, just remember the man's got a badge and a gun. All right? You can have a really bad day if you try to mess with them, and they ain't gonna have it. Be it either A, and just ending up in a clink, or B, getting shot or getting the shit kicked out of you. Because you can be right and still end up either in a clink or in the hospital. So yeah, just don't. Kind of a side, a little side thing there is, I am a pro 2A guy. I am a pew-pew enthusiast. I carry a lot. I do not carry when I go to work because I'm in Illinois a lot, and Illinois, well, sucks. I do not carry a lot when I ride because same reason. I go to Illinois quite a bit, and Illinois sucks. While you can carry in South Dakota, I believe, without a permit, I've never felt the need where I needed anything. I don't even feel the need. I've never even felt the need where I needed like pepper spray or anything like that. It is so well policed internally. I'm not even talking about the popo. I'm talking everybody's there to have a good time. We're spending a lot of money to be there. I mean, my budget for just myself is about $6 grand. Plus a little bit of extra for spending at the casinos and stuff. We ain't got time for that. We don't want to be getting into the issue. We don't want to be dealing with, with idiots, morons. There are diamond guys out there. There are 1%ers, black and white, red and white. They're all out there. They normally stick to themselves. If you run into one of them at a gas station, a couple tips. Number one, take sunglasses off. The word yes sir, the words yes sir, no sir, please and thank you go a long way with those guys. I learned that the first year I was out there, like 6 years ago, 5 years ago. I was at one of the gas stations, and I think it was the one at 34 and 90. Just stopping to get a t-shirt and a drink and get some gas. And I pulled up in front of where a couple of them were. They were kind of angled one way. I pulled in straight in no parking spot. And just asked the dude really nicely as I was dismounting. Him and a couple of his buddies a couple of his brothers were getting ready to leave. And all I said to him, "Sir, do you have enough room to get out?" That was my first encounter with the red and white, and it was about as cordial as you could imagine. Yet again, the word sir goes a long way. Use sir more often than you use the words bro or brother, because the whole thing, don't bro me if you don't know me. The word brother means a certain thing to that group of people. So I've never met the guy. Yes, I get it. We're all brothers on two wheels, brothers and sisters on two wheels, but I'm not his brother. I would not use the word bro or brother. It's not just, despite the, if you're religious, the whole, oh, we're brothers and sisters in Christ. Yeah, I get that. But, it's not exactly the same thing in the MC community. I believe it's a 1/4 inch. No, 1/8 inch. Yeah, I forget what. But I have my little the Walmart branded tools. What is it? Hyper Top or whatever. Yeah, a little kit that I carry with me. And then I also carry a cruise tool roll that has some wrenches and some baling wire and stuff like that. Zip ties can get you out of a bind, man, a lot of times. But the most common breakdowns, of course, by far are going to be flat tires. They're not uber common, but they do happen. I mean, I would recommend having your bike serviced before you get out there, but should you need to, there's plenty of places to get an oil change. AMSOIL Adam generally sets his stuff up at the vendor park, so you can get what is it, extreme synthetics or whatever it is, something like that, extreme whatever. In addition, he also normally has some diesel oil and car oil and stuff like that, should you need that. But you know, he's the god damn. His crew is there, and you can get that done. You know, it's going to cost you a little bit more than normally you would get done at your dealer for, but you know, hey, you've got vendors over there. That's what they're going to do. They're going to make their money because they're spending a decent penny to be out there just for the space they're renting, plus all the supplies they have to bring in and get shipped in. In addition, you've got a couple other AMSOIL places. You got, you know, garage services everywhere. You'll have oil change techs everywhere. So yeah, don't worry about it. You can find places. A lot of the quick lubes will even bring on guys who know how to do motorcycle oil changes, and they'll do them too. Be a little bit cheaper than you know, like that would be, but you know, I don't know what kind of oil you're gonna get. They will have, you know, motorcycle grade, you know, 5W40, 10W40, whatever it is for your metric bikes. They'll also have 20W50 for the Harleys. They may have Sin 3, they may not. They may have AMSOIL, they may not. They may have, you know, Motul or Bel-Ray or whoever. They may, but you never know. Ooh, the wastewater plant. So yeah, I would recommend having your bike serviced before you get out there. In fact, I'm probably going to dump the oil on this thing probably the weekend before, just before I load it up. Hopefully. And go from there. Locking your bike on Main Street. For the most part, nobody's going to mess with your stuff. You don't have to lock it. Nobody's really going to mess with your stuff. If you get invited to a party or an event that one of the MCs up there are putting on, be it 1% or otherwise, I would recommend against locking your bike, actually. And it comes down to old protocol, you know, protocol stuff. It's seen as a sign of disrespect. You don't trust them. They're not going to mess with your stuff. In fact, the vast majority of it, especially diamond clubs, are going to have a prospect out watching the bikes. That's kind of the role of prospect. you don't bring your umbrella, you will find it 100% of the time. But if you have it, it'll never rain, or almost never rain. I know I'm missing some stuff. I might pick this up after work with a couple other tips. Oh, running out of gas. That's what I wanted to talk about. If you're in the Black Hills Forest, don't go below a half a tank. Custer is a good place to get some fuel. Keystone and Hill City both have gas stations. You'll find pumps at a lot of places. I think Spokane Creek has a couple of the other smaller campgrounds at the end of Iron Mountain Road have a couple of gas pumps. While they have them, yeah, like I said, Custer is generally one of my favorite places to stop and gas up, just because it's a full town. It tends to not be that overpriced. Yes, everybody's going to raise their price for gas, probably about 10 cents a gallon, as the rally comes, because they're going to get it. But, and the other thing, if you're in a group, alternate who pays. Like, swipe one card, limit the amount of transactions. Swipe one card, have that one guy pay. Or even better, if one guy's got a card that gives them, massive rewards on gas. Have him just be the one to put it on his credit card, and y'all can square up later. Now, you got to be cool with the guys if you do that, but, and then, just roll, 6, 8, 10 bikes through the pump. The goal is to limit the amount of transactions, that's all. This was pretty well dry yesterday. The problem is this will be gravelly, because this road floods a lot. So anyway, I'm almost at work. I'll see you guys after work. I'm sure I'll have some more stuff to talk about that comes up on my mind as I'm at work, because, that's how it always works. You got time to think, and, so you're going to do it. Do remember we had some flipping craters on the turn-in, so I'm going to try to pay attention and not go where there's standing water, because that's where the craters are. I believe hugging this wasn't too bad. Alright, I'll talk to you guys after work. Alright, well, another day at work is in the books. I did not change batteries. I don't know how much battery I have left on this. One thing I know for sure, I don't know how many days I'm going to bring this thing to work, just because the roads are just shit. 15th is not good. The road getting in is not good. All that stuff. So yeah, but whatever, it's fine. I don't know what the weather's going to be like, or what the roads are going to be like getting back to work home, but whatever, we'll figure it out. Construction, just construction, and more construction. Meanwhile, it is a little bit toasty. I mean, it's not too bad. It's probably like 85, 88. Once I get up to speed, we'll be fine. But right now, with it being, like this, and I got the kind of warmer jacket work, and then we are on vacation. It cannot come quick enough. 3 weeks from tomorrow from leaving. Like I said, do some riding in Sioux Falls, and then